Hey guys, it's Lily Pad Polish, and today's tutorial was actually inspired by the song Malibu from Miley Cyrus, which I have been obsessed with. The whole time I was painting my nails, the song was stuck in my head. So if you haven't listened to it already, you definitely should. But in the music video, she's holding some balloons and there's a lot of flowers in the background. So that's what inspired this mani, as well as the Malibu cover, like the cover for the song. It's really floral, so that's what inspired me to do this mani. So if you want to know how to recreate it, then just keep on watching. So of course, as always, I'm going to be applying my base coat. This is my yellow stopper polish, which I love to use as a peel off base coat. It works wonders. And then I'm going to be using a white base polish. I'm using white because it will just make everything pop, and I actually ended up using the white as kind of like a little bit of the background color as well, but you can make it whatever color you want, probably a lighter color though. And then I'm using the yellow stopper polish again over top of the white to make the surface of my nail nice and tacky for when we start to stamp. So to stamp, I'm using my Bundle Monster stamping plate, and I've used this in I think 2 videos before, but I'll have it up in the right hand side in the cards as well as in the description box below. But I'm using the top left hand image, which is super floral. It looks just like the cover for the song Malibu. So I'm using this, and I'm also using this with the Bundle Monster black polish. I'll have everything that I used down in the description box below, but I'm just scraping off the excess polish and picking it up with my Bundle Monster Monocle stamper. So it picked up flawlessly, and then I'm going to be doing a little bit of reverse stamping. So if you don't know what I mean by that, I'm just going to be coloring in the flowers with the desired colors, waiting for it to dry, and then applying it on my nail like that, kind of like a decal but way less messy. So I'm just using a whole bunch of different polishes. As I said before, they'll be in the description box below because I feel like I used 101 products in this video, so all the details will be down there. And I know that this is a super intricate design, but I actually didn't color the whole thing. I left some blanks, so a little bit of the background of the white was peeking through, and I actually kind of liked it that way. I got a little lazy towards the end, and I figured the white peeking through would be totally fine, and it came out pretty good. So I would recommend doing that if you don't want to do the whole entire thing. It's perfectly fine if the background is peeking through, and you can actually do it over your natural nail probably, and it'll probably look pretty darn cool like that as well. You also might have noticed that I colored the flowers with 2 different colors, and that's because that's how it was on the cover of the Malibu song. So that's what I did on my nails, and I promise you it's not complicated. I just did one color towards the base of the flowers, and then I did a different color towards the petals, and it actually doesn't look that harsh once you turn it around and actually apply it on the nail. It looks pretty cool. So by this point, I was definitely over the coloring, so it's time to apply it onto my nail. So you guys saw that I already applied my yellow stopper polish on the surface of my nail to make it tacky, so that when I apply the stamp onto my nail, it actually sticks. And if you love to do reverse stamping, I would definitely recommend getting the yellow stopper polish. It literally saves my life when doing reverse stamping. So I'm just getting a cuticle pusher and using that to detach the rest of the image from my nail, because I had a lot of extra on the sides, so I just kind of teared it apart towards the cuticles. And for the rest of my nails, for the balloons, I'm going to be mixing some water and acrylic paint. So I put some water in a cup, and I'm going to be sucking it up with a syringe, and I literally just had this lying around. You don't need any of these high-tech tools. I just figured that using this would be a lot less messy, so that's what I did. So I got the little syringe ready with water, and I got my acrylic paint. I like to use Americana acrylic paint, and I always like to shake it up just to make sure that it's not thick or chunky, And it's especially important to do this step because you want the acrylic paint to be nice and liquidy. So I'm going to use a dollop of the acrylic paint and a same size dollop of water, so you want it to be 50-50. I'm just going to mix it with my dotting tool, and then with that same dotting tool I'm going to be applying it onto my nail, and I'm just doing different size circles and waiting 50 to 30 seconds so that it dries just a little bit on the nail but not all the way. And I'm using a Q-tip to soak up some of that liquid, and then we get kind of like a circle on our nails because the outer edges dry first so that the inside is a lot more sheer. It's kind of like a gradient of sheerness, if that makes sense, and it kind of resembles balloons. So I'm doing that with a multitude of different colors, all of which will of course be linked down below, as I say for the third time in this video, but I did really use a lot of products, so it's all down there. And I'm going to be continuing to mix the acrylic paint and water together to apply it onto my nail. I always waited 15 to 30 seconds, probably about 20. I didn't really count, I didn't have a timer. This is just a guesstimate, but 15 to 30 seconds would be just fine. And once I started to get into the colors, I started to overlap them a little bit. And that's totally fine to overlap them as long as they're not wet or anything, but acrylic paint dries super fast, so I don't think that's really a problem. And I did always use a different Q-tip for when I kind of dabbed it onto my nail, just because on one nail I mixed the paint on accident because I used the same Q-tip. So I know it's a little wasteful, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm cleaning up just a tad bit, not too much, and then once we're all done, I'm going to be applying my very favorite glossy top coat. This is I&M Out the Door, and I'm making sure to apply it on the edges for a longer lasting manicure. And I'm going to be peeling off my nail polish in this video. I know that in the beginning I told you that I love the Yellow Stopper base coat as a peel off base coat, and this is why. So I did this in my previous tutorial and I decided to do it again just because I personally find these extremely satisfying. So I always use some cuticle oil just to make it a lot easier to peel off the nail polish and to make sure that it's a lot safer to peel off, which might sound weird, but the cuticle oil makes it a lot easier to peel, and there's less of a chance that you accidentally damage your real nail or peel off any of your actual nail layers. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you did, definitely let me know in the comments down below so I can continue showing you me peeling off my manicure. And if you have any requests for any future nail tutorials or any other type of nail related videos, also let me know in the comments down below. So if you liked this video and found it helpful, definitely give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. And that's all. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.